All right. Assalamu alaikum again. And it's good morning from Maryland. Actually, it's 9:35 a.m. here. So there's a time difference, you all know. I'm very glad to be here, and I actually enjoyed this words that the senior professors before us, they told us about the field itself, the vision of the university, and the future goal for the students. I really, really appreciate those words. I myself actually was a university faculty back in Bangladesh as well. I graduated from Jahangirnagar University, and then I joined the department as a faculty. I served 5 years there. Then I came to the USA for my higher studies, as many of our Bangladeshi faculties and students do. So after doing my PhD here, I started the academic career here in Morgan State. And I'm today actually very happy and delighted to talk to you, my Bangladeshi people, actually. Really a great opportunity for me. I really thank the organizers, and especially Dr. Professor Mohiuddin Ahmed, who contacted me through some of his students who have been doing their higher studies in my university here in USA. They have been doing really good, first of all. I'm really good to see them, actually. This semester, in this current semester, fall 2022, I also brought two Bangladeshi students, one from Jahangirnagar University, one from Dhaka University. Both are assistant professors there. They are here, just came in this fall semester in Morgan State for their higher studies. So why I'm saying that, the thing is, actually, there are opportunities around, and it doesn't matter where we live, where we physically are. We all can contribute from our level of capacity. So that's what we have been trying to. I think, as Professor Joshimuddin mentioned correctly, that which university you study, I'm telling all the students here or all the participants, which university you study actually does not matter that much nowadays. I mean, in this world of digital communication, your physical location is not important, but what all matter is how much skill set you have developed in yourself. Yes, we need an academic degree. We need a university degree. That is given. But that's not all. Just getting a degree may not be good enough to compete with the advanced world. So that's why we always encourage our students, home and abroad, to get their additional skills in the state-of-the-art works. Whatever field you like to, it does not necessarily be computer science or electrical engineering or whatever it is. Just get your necessary skill set and be updated with the updated information. With that, I plan today actually a around 30 minutes talk, but later I thought, when I was working on my presentation slides, I thought that giving a technical talk or too much technical talk in this 30-minute session may not be that helpful. Within that 30 minutes, we may not get ample of information or ample of technically advanced topics or things we will be learning here. That's not my goal today. Actually, my goal here today is present something very high level. That means under broad category. And from that, I would like to actually answer questions from the students who wants to probably want to pursue higher study or career and professional career in the area. I think that would be a better setting to question and answer whatever you think, whatever I think. So the sharing of knowledge or information or resources. That's why I kept my presentation very informal, I would say. And along the way, I will also give you a sample project or example project that some of my students currently working with. So just to give you an idea, technology and advanced area of academia is not necessarily on the book only, as Professor Mohiuddin and Professor Jashimuddin mentioned correctly, and our Vice Chancellor sir also mentioned is, it is not only book, it's applicable to the good for people. That's the goal. How can my contribution help people around me in this country, abroad, in the world, whoever it is? So we'll talk a little bit toward that avenue as well. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Anybody respond, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It is being
Yes,
seen.
sir.
All right, thank you very much. So the title itself, the pathway to success, it sounds like a promotional thing, but we will not be talking definitely about the promotional or anything like that. We'll get some basic area to focus in this success. Now, how do we measure success, or how do we define this success? Is also subjective. This success could be financial success, it could be professional success, it could be academic success. So in this area, actually, we need to define our success, goal of success, that what do I think as a success? So toward that, I would try to focus a little bit on the academic success today, because we all are from academia here, and the other two, financial or professional success, will follow. If you are academically successful, I am sure those other success will follow you. With that, let me start. Let me tell a little bit about myself, just to share with you what I do here and how I operate here. With my background, you see a lot of logos here. This is not to show the current logos. Actually, it all means something to me. I have been associated with all of these great organizations in one way or other through my research, through some of my projects. So let me start with top left. That is Jahangirnagar University, where I did my undergrad and graduation in computer science and engineering. Then I worked there for 5 years. As an assistant professor, I came to the US for higher study from Jahangirnagar University. During my university study, I also did my master's degree from BUET. That was a 2 years master's degree I got, information and communication technology. Then I came to the USA and I started my higher study in Duquesne University, which is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there, after completing my master's in 2010, I guess, yes. Then I did my PhD studies in University of Pittsburgh, which is also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I got my PhD in 2017. In the same year, in 2017 fall, before even I defended my PhD defense, I got a tenure track position in Morgan State University, Maryland. So I have been, since then, I have been here as an assistant professor in Morgan State. I'm talking about the first logo and the second row, Morgan State University. So where we have some Bangladeshi students as of now, and we have planned actually to offer opportunities to my fellow Bangladeshi students in near future as well. So being as a Morgan faculty, I work with some reputed national organization, federal organizations here. ARL stands for Army Research Lab. I have two projects, actually, research projects with U.S. Army Research Lab. They actually work in sophisticated works, projects. There are some limitations, what we can talk about, what we cannot, since it's confidential, some of those, we may not be able to talk in detail about the specific projects, but let me tell you this. They're working on projects that you may see after 10, 15 years from now. So what we have been thinking, we have been working today, they are working 10, 15 years ahead. What they want to see after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, those type of projects they work. And some of those are really, really confidential. So there's some clearance to work even on that data on that project. So next, NASA and NSF, I have, actually by now, I have 3 NSF grants that, research grants, that I collaborate, one with a NASA researcher, with NSF. 2 of those projects are still currently running. One of my Bangladeshi students who came just this fall, he is working under one of that grant. And the last one in the second line, that is NIST, National Institute of Testing and Standards in USA. This is a federal government organization. They do extensive research in many different areas of IT and computer science. I have been working as a co-supervisor there for my students, their students, they have interns. So that's how we collaborate with them. And the last line, as you see, some of those logos are very familiar with you, I'm sure. Google, Facebook, Instagram, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM. So in Google, I have been teaching a course actually as a Google Tech, they call it Tech Exchange program. So that course is advanced algorithm. They recruit students from all over the nation, USA universities. So every spring, they create a class of 25 to 30 students, so they are scrutinizing those students from top universities, and they are bringing those students in a class. And that class, I, along with a Google engineer, I teach that class, and from those students, they actually later offer internship and they absorb them permanently. So that is called Google Tech Exchange program. I have been involved with that for the last 4 years. Yes. I got 2 data science projects, one with Facebook, one with Instagram. Every summer, I go California, Facebook and Instagram headquartered, and they have data engineering team, and I actually physically go there and work on their own data because they don't share their data outside of that organization. So that's how we work. It's a running project. In Microsoft, I got another grant from Microsoft. In last summer, I ran a coding camp for high school students and undergrad students under that grant. So this is a continuous project with me currently. And with Oracle, we have a university-wide collaboration with Oracle engineers. I teach a class here in graduate level, and Oracle engineer also co-teach that course with me and sharing they call it Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. They have a cloud environment, and that's where we work together. And recently, in last fall, I got 2 research grants from IBM. Under each of the grant, I have been supporting 2 different students. They are working on those are active projects too. So as you can see, so these logos actually mean something to myself. So in USA University, whoever work in academic setting, some of the senior professors, you may know it well. that you have to be active in your research and academic progress. Otherwise, actually, there is a proverb here called um, it says publish or perish. Do something, publish something, and perish or get destroyed. So that's how it works. Anyway, so that's me. And my area of research here in Morgan State University, currently I have been in the broader area, I would say, machine learning and AI, data science and big data analytics. Actually, my PhD dissertation is focused on big data analytics and machine learning. And I have a specialized area of focus, which is called geospatial intelligence. I will give you an example of that area today, an example project. And finally, no matter what you work, data science, machine learning, AI, you need to work with algorithms. And nowadays, optimization of algorithms in a high-performance computing environment is critically important. That's why that's another focus research area of mine. All right, switching back to our topic today. Machine learning and AI trend. So I put a quotation from Ray here, who is the American inventor and futurist. Artificial intelligence will reach human levels by around 2029. This simple line tells you where we are going. Nowadays, you may know that many devices are coming that can actually assist like a human. Well, we know robot and this and that here and there, but progress is happening tremendously. That means that device or your machine is considered to replace your human brain. So this is coming actually. So that's why it's very important, whoever are in the area, to be up to date with the updated information so that we know at least where we are going. Just reading the book and material that we have as a text, it may not be good enough. So I always encourage to do that. Where the world is going in your area, to be updated with that is critically important. Career path in machine learning and AI. So these are broader career path, but you know that the horizon of machine learning and AI is wide open, I would say. There are many different professions you can go, but in broader line, we can summarize some of those. We call machine learning engineer, data scientist, business intelligence developer, research scientist, big data engineer or architect. This is a big position. If you are a data architect in the USA, you are one of the top earner in the area of this ID. Robotic scientist. So there are critical, very sophisticated organizations here who work with that robotics. And if you can claim that, yes, I'm an expert in that area, you are something special. So these are some of the special or sophisticated area where people actually dream to go in this country, I would say. So what skill you need to go there? Well, it needs extensive technical skill. As I said, I will not go to that technical detail today. My goal is to give you an overall idea about the field and basically answer your question, your curiosity. I would be happy to respond toward that. So basic skill, but you know, for any field, we need some necessary required skills, which is in the case of machine learning and AI, you must have first of all, mathematical and statistical skill. In our country, sometime in technical subjects like EEE, CSC, we kind of ignore or give less emphasis to statistics. This machine learning, AI, data science, big data analytics, all are based on statistics. So here, actually, in the course requirements of many graduate programs in the area of EEE or even computer engineering or computer science and engineering, computer science or related field, you will see a lot of advanced statistics course. Why? Because statistical models are important. All what we are trying to do in data science, machine learning, AI are trying different statistical probabilistic models. So if we have the basic knowledge in that area, that will definitely help you in this area of AI and ML. Programming skill, second one. So no matter where you go, what you do in the area of AI and ML or even nowadays in any profession, you know, basic programming skill is necessary. But for AI and ML, you need some specific programming skill, meaning things are moving fast. We need to also be up to date with the related programming. For example, I started my programming when I was a student with Fortran 7.7. During that time, to teach programming, Fortran was a very good language, engineering language, and I started my next upper level programming with C. Nowadays, you see many other up-to-date and many other task-specific programming languages are there. For example, Python itself is a very powerful language. For data analytics in ML and AI, R programming language is a very helpful, very simple, but very powerful programming language. I mean, statistical programming language or analytics language, R. If you're familiar with, let's say, Python, R, then, and if you can claim that, yes, I'm good at R, I am good at Python, that actually means something. People are there to take you in if you are really gather that skill set in R, Python. But again, I would not emphasize anybody to focus more on tool, because tool will come and go, but your concept, your knowledge in that area, your algorithm will stay forever. So to implement your project, you may need some skills in tool development, but do not focus on many tools. Focus on one, be master of that. That's my advice to students. So if you are good at, let's say, Python, no matter what programming language you come across, you would be able to pick it up. That's not a problem. If you are good at R, so SAS, Stata, so whatever statistical programming languages are coming, if you have the basic knowledge of statistics and you have a good hand in R programming language, then you are good. Any programming language come across you, you can pick it up. So not too much focus on the tool itself, but focus on the concept. So how easily you can translate a concept into a product, into a solution, that is important. Critical thinking, that how can I solve a problem? 80% solution of a problem is not required, does not require any computer or any programming for you. It's in your head, in your pen and paper. Remaining 20% is your implementation. Problem-solving skill is really important in this area. So to do that, critical thinking, that means I this is not my code, it's called outside the box, meaning think something that traditional thinking, think something out of that. Go outside of the box to solve a problem. So that's called critical thinking. So that's my basically suggestion to students here. Think outside the box, think critically. If you are given a simple problem, try yourself, make it a harder problem. Try yourself, by yourself, make it a harder problem and try to solve that harder problem by yourself. That's how you develop your problem solving skills. And the last, not the least, is appropriate degree, meaning as Professor Joshimuddin mentioned, yes, we need a degree. To go somewhere, you need some basic degree, either BS, MS, or PhD, whatever is needed. But along the degree, we also need those additional skill set. All right. Any questions so far, anybody? I would be happy to answer questions at the end of the presentation. But at this point, I would like to actually give you an example project that my students currently are working on. And before I dive into that project example, is there any question from anybody? What we talked so far? All right. So here is a sample problem that my students currently working on, just to give you an idea how your technological knowledge in AI, in machine learning, in data analytics can help people, help the community. So this is an example of that, a smart navigation for pedestrian with special need. You know, when with a special need, a pedestrian may have different sort of problem, physical problem. Some of those may be using a wheelchair. Some of those may have visual disparity. That means visual impairments, visually challenged. Some of those have reading or hearing issue. So, but we all need to move. We all need to walk, right? So toward that, this pedestrian navigation is not something that you can find from Google or find from any established big organization. Now, why it is needed? From your phone, you all are familiar with smartphone nowadays, right? From your phone, you can navigate here and there. You can walk. It gives you walking options. Then why do I need a project in that area? Let me tell you why. There are some challenges. What we usually do not see, if you critically think, you will see that, yeah, there are some challenges in this simple problem, and we need to address those challenges. So let's go one at a time. Challenges in pedestrian navigation. Look at this road. A road center line with two sidewalks, ideal case, right? That's what we have, that's what the vision we have, or visual situation we think when we think of a road. There will be road, there will be two sidewalks, and you can see that there is a center line, yellow center line, and there are two white reference line. After that, the bike lane is there, walking lane is there, pathway is there. So it's an ideal case, but not necessarily all the road have these features. Let's see some of those. So street with one sidewalk. Do you see that? In other side, there is no sidewalk. This street has only one sidewalk. Now look at the second one, street with no sidewalk. There are streets in USA, there is no sidewalk. Now, if you use your Google Navigator to navigate through that road, and if you are a wheelchair user, you see the challenge, right? So look at this. A wheelchair user and pedestrian driver sharing the road. How dangerous it could be. There is no sidewalk. A wheelchair user is going. A pedestrian is going in the next slide. Along with the wheelchair, a car is coming also. There is a way for another car. In Bangladesh, we see this type of road oftentimes. In USA, this type of road exists too. So risky. That's the message here. There are challenges for some roads like this. Look at this. We don't notice this very often in your university campus. You will see sometimes there are two, three, or a couple of steps in a walkway. Look at the walker pedestrian. You can easily step up or step down through that couple of steps. But look at that and think of that wheelchair user. She cannot, I just block the faces, or that's how it works. So she cannot go down, though it's just 3-4 steps, she cannot go down through that road. So she needs an alternate pathway to go to her destination. A simple wheelchair user, right? Look at the second one, the steep sidewalk. We as a walker, we can walk. Let's say even if it is a little steep toward a hilly area or something, we can still walk. But think about that wheelchair user. Can that wheelchair go uphill that steep? No, actually that is a standard how slope you can travel. Now the challenges, look, the pedestrian, we need to cross the road sometime. So this pedestrian has a white stick in his hand and he needs to cross the road. How far is the signal from him? In which direction is the signal? Where to walk? He needs that help. Google is not going to help him. He does not see, right? So it doesn't matter how well articulated or well crafted map you produce, that does not help him. So he needs different sort of help to cross that road, just to go to that intersection and cross that road. You started walking through a sidewalk. At some point, sidewalk stopped. Yeah, there is a sidewalk, but sidewalk stopped. Then what do you need to do? Come back, go back, again, find another way. So these are some of the gleams that in real life, those situations happens in real life. No matter which country we live, every country has this situation. And a huge amount of people need help, suggestion, or direction in those situations, which way to go, where to go, how to go. So ADA, they have standard, actually accessible entrance. In USA, every building should have an accessible entrance, meaning if you are a wheelchair user, look at this building. It has stairs to the main entrance. Also, there is a side entrance where a wheelchair user can navigate through. Now, think about it. This is very visual, right? That this is your stairs, and this where a wheelchair user should go. Now, in some big building complex, this navigation gets challenging because the wheelchair access may be in the other side of the building. When you give an address of a building in your Google map, it takes you to in front of the building, no matter who you are. Now, if you're a wheelchair user, you need to find it out locally that which way to go to that wheelchair accessible door. So that information is not there in the Google map. So what is the question? What we are trying to solve here? What would be a personalized navigation assistance method for pedestrians with special needs? So as you can see, different pedestrians have different challenges and they have different needs. So that's why if you can develop a system learning from these data source means when we talk about a street network, that means it's a database, right? When we talk about a sidewalk network, it's another database. But Google, when you use that Google Navigator or any other MapQuest Navigator or Yahoo Navigator or any Bing Navigator, so those gives you a direction from source to destination through a path, street center line only, not the sidewalk information. Now, see, to do this work, you need to identify some tasks. For example, defining, generating, updating a pedestrian path network while centerline road network is not applicable for pedestrian. As you can see, centerline road network will not give you the appropriate direction or navigation information. So you need a sidewalk road database. Now, how to get it? It's a very, very challenging task. You can imagine how many roads are there and how many sidewalks information needed to be collected. So that's where comes your AI and machine learning thing, that we have different methods, let's say learning methods from, say, satellite image, bird's eye image, or many other sources, actually building a sidewalk network with those information, meaning that is there in that road segment or sidewalk segment, is there any steps? Is there any slope that the wheelchair cannot go? Is there any intersection? Is the sidewalk available all the way from this way to this source to this destination? So now manually collecting those information, yes, you can do it, but it will take really, really long time. So that's where your machine learning and AI methods help actually from different other sources, learn from different heterogeneous data sources and build a workable, active sidewalk network so that any pedestrian with those type of challenges, you can generate an algorithm that gives you a direction based on those pedestrian sidewalk network, not the Google Centerline road network map. So I hope I could give you the idea. So this is just an example where AI and ML can help you. You can see the scale of this project. It is a huge scale. Just if you look at the US road network database, it is itself an exabyte level database. Now, on top of that, if you want to add those sidewalk network database, it is another exabyte level data based work. So definitely that needs assistance, help from AI and machine learning. When we are trying to actually, as a pilot project, we are trying to, my students here are working on this to develop a local level in the university campus or so that we can have an active database like that. So this is just an example. I guess my time is almost closed for this presentation. I have a different research direction toward that, but let's skip a little bit. Here, I want to give you some resources. Let's say I understand some of my students here and abroad, also in this webinar who joined. Some of you may be interested, okay, if I want to pursue this, this type of work in the area of AI and machine learning or big data analytics. So, and I want to pursue higher studies. So in my description, I can give you some of the resources, definitely. And my contact is there. You are always welcome to contact me if you are interested in any of those. In Morgan State, we have two different schools, academic schools. One is engineering school, one is science school. I am under science school, computer science. So I gave you two very related programs in Morgan State. One is the first one, advanced computing program, where I gave you the link. And that program, I am the program director, and hopefully I can help if I find any qualified students for that. Definitely, I will be happy to help. As I said, students are coming from Bangladesh. Students are coming to pursue their higher studies in those areas. And there, for electrical engineering, we have a dedicated electrical and computer engineering department. I gave you the link to, and these both program are administered by School of Graduate Studies, and how to get how to apply, what's the procedure for international students, you will find in the third link that I just. And there are some funding resources as well from graduate school. And let me tell you about the funding opportunities or scholarship opportunities in this case. Graduate school of every university in the USA, graduate school have their own funding sources. They offer funding for potential students and qualified students. Also faculties, as I have some my colleagues have some. So faculties have their own research grant, which is a very common tradition here. And you have to actually, in academia, if a faculty does not have research grant, does not have grant or any research, that means he is in challenge. So everybody are in challenge. So we need to work toward that to find appropriate related research toward my research area. And professors here do have research grants. And to request or to make yourself qualified to those grants, all what you need to do is simple. Look at the professor's website and see what are the projects currently they're working on. If those projects interest you, write directly to that professor that you went through that project description, and here is how you may be able to contribute toward that project if you are taken as a graduate student to that under that project. So that's how you can have a direct communication with the professors, and that's actually the major section of our international graduate students are coming through the professors research fund. So yes, I gave you the link for the graduate school funding and scholarship too. Also, that link or that option is open to contact any professor through their official email. And here is my email at the end. With that, I thank again everybody. I think I 4 minutes over my allocated time. So at this point, I'll be happy to go back to the organizers. And again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, three seniors professors and the organizers. Mamoon, you were tremendous in communication. I appreciate your so timely communication and all out effort, and the organizer who organized this event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dr. Monir Sharker, your technical talk, and also at the end, the inspiring word for our future students. And now we will move on to our Q&A session. If you have any query from our keynote speaker, you may raise your hand or may write a question in the chat box. In the meantime, I had some questions from the students, especially 2 questions. So on behalf of them, I would like to ask the question. In the meantime, who have the question, you can write on the chat box. So the questions are, the first one is, whenever we work on the machine learning and artificial intelligence, we required a sufficient amount of data. This is our main research for doing any kind of research on machine learning and artificial intelligence. So whenever you are thinking a new project, maybe there is a first barrier would be the database. So in that case, how you manage the data for the for this kind of project, actually for the newly in thinking projects?
That's a very good questions indeed. Data is power here in this area of machine learning. So, but it should not stop you that the availability of data challenge should not stop you doing your research or work in the area of machine learning. There are many open source data sets that you can use. I hope you all are familiar with machine learning repository. Let me give you a link here directly. So I just typed a link here. It's the data archive in the machine learning repository. In the area of machine learning, you will have many different data sets in that open data sets. You can download those data. You can see what other people did with those data, similar projects, what other people are working in the area of those. So this is a good source. Similar to this, I'm just giving you one example that many data sources are also available for free. So that could be a good point to start. Now, definitely, if you find a particular area of interest where the data is either available commercially or it needs some financial, let's say, transaction or financial support to get those data, obviously, if it's a potential project in the USA, if you can prove that your project is important, then funding for that project or data or whatever it needs, let's say it needs resources, data, it will be purchased for you. Now, I understand I'm from Bangladesh too, so having those is a little critical, but I am sure if you really can make your case, then your university authority or even our government has some projects too, definitely you will get some. But to prepare yourself, a lot of data is available already. You can explore that link as I just gave you. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Before going to the my second question, let me allow to introduce a question from the chat box, and he is Mr. Kashem, Abul Kashem. He is the associate professor in Feni University, the Department of BBA, and also the dean in charge of that faculty. And his question is, how could we relate the supply chain or marketing with machine learning and AI, where at the prospect? So he actually wants to link his chain or marketing with the machine learning or artificial intelligence. So as I
Good
mentioned,
question.
he is the associate
Good
professor in
question.
our university.
All right. So your supply chain or marketing is a, let's say, is based on some sort of previous data you make decision, right? So in AI or machine learning, what we do? We learn from the previous data and we make a data-driven decision. We call it data-driven decision making. So in the area, it does not matter where the data is coming from, what data, where the domain of that data is. So if you have the marketing records of last 10 years for your company or that organization, and if you want to make a decision based on those data, you definitely can develop a model that will learn from those data, meaning you can train your proposed model based on those data that you have, marketing data I'm talking about, that you have for last 10, 15 years, and test the model in fraction of that data, same data, to see how well your model is performing there. If that's a satisfactory performance, because you already know the situation is the last 10 years and the consequences, result of the last 10 years too. You know the results, right? So if you train your model on that data and compare the model outcome with what actually happened, in last 10 years, then you can see how good or bad your model is performing, right? So if you are satisfied with that model, definitely you can use the same model even for prediction too, from today to 1 year later too. So my direct answer to your question, it does not matter what domain data it is. It all matters that if you have sufficient data, historical data, and if you have a good model for that data. So it should be also helping your future prediction in the area of marketing and supply chain also.
Thank you. Mr. Abul Kashim, do you have any feedback question regarding the answer?
Okay, no more questions, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. And so if I go to the chat box, so I think there is an important question, so I can relate. So one of the student, Mr. Osman, he asked that if he wants to start a project in data science, what actually he should initiate it from. And same goes to the other question, like he give an example, the traffic jam. Another one is Mahmudul, manager Kumilla. So the basic thing is, if I want to start a project in machine learning, AI, or data science, so what I should at the initial approach?
Oh, good. So any project, this is generally for any project, any problem you want to solve. As I said, look at the problem, define the problem first, what you want to do. The same problem can be looked from many different perspectives, right? So many people can attack the same problem from different angle. So you decide first from which angle, actually which particular problem of that domain you want to solve. You are clear. If you are clear with that definition of your problem, then you are 60% done. So start with the problem definition, get a clear question, what you want to solve, what aspects of the problem you want to address. Once you are good at that, then make your own solution. You now know the problem very well, right? Make your own solution that in plain English, you don't need any tool. In plain English, make a solution to the problem, okay? This is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and so on. Then, once you have that set of tasks to solve the problem, then see for which one you need a programming module, which one you need a function, for which one you need an access to a data source, for which one toward that. Now, find the associated data source. You need to have have the relevant data to solve the problem, right? You need to have access to sample data. So then you get into the data and see. Obviously, you need to learn some basic concept of, let's say, if you want to apply machine learning. What is machine learning? It's nothing but a set of algorithms, right? A set of algorithms. Now you need to see that which of the machine learning algorithms are suitable to address this problem. So that means it needs a little learning from that concept. It needs the appropriate data sets, and it needs your critical thinking to solve the problem first. I would say these 3 components you need to start with at least. Then definitely you will be talking to some expert who already did it. Definitely that will be helpful resources.
So thanks a lot for your guidance. We can see that another question, which is also related to my second question. So actually he want to ask that how actually he can prepare himself for the higher studies according to the present situation. So if I relate to my question, so actually I wanted to ask that, so whenever you are judging a student for hiring, so what actually you look into his CV? Actually, what is the focus point on his CV? Or in his
I'm
email?
sure this is a very common question from many of you and many of my students from Jahangirnagar University, from Dhaka University. So whenever a student contacts me, that's what the first question they ask. And that, so how should I prepare myself? What do you look to recruit a student? So this is the key. Again, I am emphasizing this again, that what university, what academic institute you are graduated from, never ever take that as an important determinant in your application process. A faculty, a professor in the United States never will compare the rank of Feni University and Jahangirnagar University or Buet or Dhaka University, that, hey, which university is the best in that country? No, they will all look at your resume, at your CV, what you did, what you learned. That means what project you work, what skill set you have. If you are if you honestly prepared your CV, that means not highlighted something that I am not. Do not do that. Whatever you are, try to explain that clearly and simply. Never ever say something to a professor that you are not. This is very important. If a professor sees something on your CV, he actually believes and he actually makes his decisions based on your CV. Now, if you, let's say, if your CV has something, and when you conversate with the professor and professor sees or get a sense that you inflated the CV, that means I do not know, but that extent, maybe I know to some extent, but I am not to that skill set level, but I am saying that I have that skill set level. If that sense goes to the professor, either from your writing, email, or your resume, that you are inflating your CV, that is a no-no. That is clearly a no-no. So the language that you use in your emails toward a professor and the content that you put on your CV is critically important. Definitely, let's say if I want to put something on my CV, I should have that skill set already, right? If a professor takes you, why he will take you? Because he sees that on your CV, some set of skills are there, and he may need those skills. There are incidents here, and that makes reputation. I mean, that's a question of reputation. We have experience on that. Let's say we interviewed, everything went fine, whatever way, XYZ, he managed that, yes, okay, so considerable. So he came here and finally it went very down. Let's say, and then what happens? That student may not be returned back, maybe sometime some may go through some consequences, but he may survive. But what he's stopping or she's stopping is future students. If one institute, let's say you are coming from a Feni University, if you are the case, then a future Feni University student will be scrutinized twice, and it will be hard to make the professors believe that that CV is true. You see what I mean? So never ever inflate your CV. So be honest with your CV. And one important thing a professor wants to see, that they don't expect a student will come as an expert. No professor expects that. All they want is, okay, you have the basic skill set and you will be a hardworking student. Whenever you are given an assignment, you can do it. That confidence you have, that even if you don't know how to solve it, you can work around it, play around it, and you are a hard worker and you can make it happen with the help of professor. No professor expects the students to be expert and come and do the next day start working. No, you will be given some time, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year even, to get familiar with the system, learn additional skill sets, what you need, then start working. Now, if you are given that opportunity, but you are not taking those opportunities, for example, you are here already, I gave you an assignment, okay, this semester, no hard work, just learn these things. But now, graduate school is always challenging. You need to keep your academics standing up. You need to keep your international student status up. At the same time, you need to perform on the project that you are funded in. So graduate school is always a little challenging place for students. I myself went through the same process. Everybody who coming as an international student, we work through the same process. It's a hardworking situation. If you are confident, if you demonstrate that you can do hard work, doesn't matter where are you coming from. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So actually our Q&A session time has been finished, and I can see in the chat box that one person has raised his hand. If our speaker give me the allow, then I can give him the allow to talk with you. So may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the name is M Jam. So you may say something as you raise your hand.
জি থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, আমি খুব সংক্ষেপে আমার প্রশ্নটা করে ফেলছি। আমি আপনার এই টপিকে অত্যন্ত পুলকিত উপলব্ধি বোধ করছি। আমি এই মানে খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং এবং আধুনিক বিষয়বস্তু হওয়ার কারণে অত্যন্ত মনোযোগ দিয়ে শুনেছি। আমার মধ্যে একটা প্রশ্ন অনেক দিন ধরে, বেশ কয়েক মাস ধরে ঘুরপাক খাচ্ছে। আমি আসলে প্রশ্নটা পরিষ্কার করে কোনো জায়গায় সঠিকভাবে ঠিক উপস্থাপন করতে পারি নাই সম্ভবত। আমার প্রশ্ন হলো, ম্যাথামেটিক্স সায়েন্স এর অনেকগুলো ডিসিপ্লিন ব্রাঞ্চেস রয়ে গেছে, যে অ্যালজেব্রা, জিওমেট্রি, স্ট্যাটিক্স, ডাইনামিক্স, ক্যালকুলাস আমরা অনেকগুলো করেছি স্যার। এছাড়াও পরিসংখ্যান বা ক্লাসিক্যাল অনেক ম্যাথমেটিক্স আমরা করেছি, শিখেছি। ট্রিপলিতেও অনেক সলিউশন, সার্কিট সলিউশন এগুলো আমরা ডেভেলপ করেছি। কিন্তু আমার প্রশ্ন হলো, কোন কি ইস্যু, কোন কি ডিফারেন্স, হুইচ key issue make your subject artificial, make your discussion this is human replaceable? হিউম্যান কে রিপ্লেস করতে গিয়ে কি এমন স্যার আবিষ্কার করেছেন বা আবিষ্কারে আপনি নিয়োজিত আছেন যা দ্বারা হিউম্যান রিপ্লেস হয়ে যাচ্ছে? তাহলে এই যুগ যুগ ধরে, হাজার বছর ধরে এত সব ক্লাসিক্যাল ম্যাথমেটিক্স সায়েন্স কেন ব্যর্থ ছিল? কেন আজকে এই এমএল আর এআই দিয়ে ম্যান রিপ্লেসেবল সাস্টেইনেবল ডেভেলপমেন্ট আপনারা খুঁজে পেয়েছেন? সেই কি ইস্যুটা যদি একটু খুলে বলেন। আমার প্রশ্নটা হয়তো আপনার যোগ্যতার কাছে খুব মানে প্রাসঙ্গিক কিনা আমি সেটাও বুঝছি না, তবে আমার ক্ষুধা এটা। ওভার স্যার।
You're all right. I got your question. So this is a very common question too, that how a machine can replace a human. Now, machine is not replacing a human, first of all. Let me assure you that machine is not replacing a human. You said math, stats have been coming through years, and we have been working in that area for a long time. Now, how can a machine or some machine learning AI are replacing human? Actually, it is not the case that no human will be needed. Thing is, whatever the machine will be doing, in simple word, I'm telling you, whatever the machine will be doing, all are instructed by you as a human. You are instructing the machine what to do, what to learn. Now, here is the machine is helping you. Here is how machine is helping you. Let's say you have a 1 terabyte of data, 1 terabyte of data. Now, from that 1 terabyte of data, if I give you that 1 terabyte data set in front of you, and you look to the data and see, okay, this is last 50 years data, and this is the trend, find a trend of a particular problem and see what happened to the last 50 years, and then based on those learning, make a decision. Now, we human beings, we have some limitation that we are super powerful. At the same time, we have some limitations as well. So you cannot process with your eye and brain that 50 years of data of a particular domain and make a pattern out of that and make a decision based on that pattern. So that may be a super, let's say, time-consuming task for a human being. But that's where the machine coming to help you, actually. AI is coming to help you. AI is nothing but that basic math and sciences, that basic math and statistical models. Where AI is working based on, what AI is working on. Those mathematical models that you told that machine to use this model to learn from this data and give me a decision based on those 50 years of data. You see where I'm coming from? So here, machine is learning from the data and making a decision. What a human being will be, okay, you can do that, but it will take time for you to do it manually, all these things. So there are some machine learning algorithms that is helping you in a sense, like as if you did it, you analyze the data, and here's the decision. So that's where AI is helping you. It's not replacing machine, replacing human being. It is actually supplementing human decision-making process. That's what would be my answer to your question.
Okay, thanks a lot. So we are running out of time. So we are ending here the questions answer session. So before ending the speaks from the Dr. Sharker, so I would like to ask you say some words at the end of this webinar before ending your session.
All right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk, and I'll be happy to be in touch if anybody is interested in my university and in any other university in the USA or Canada. My friends are there in different academic institutions as well. If you seek any type of, let's say, suggestion, we have already Bangladeshi students coming in. Or you can communicate with them as well. Keep in touch. Even from Feni University, a number of students are here, so you can keep in touch with them as well and to learn about the process. If I can be of any help, I will be happy to help. Thank you very much.